Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's up, everybody?
All right, so tell everybody about Neil Blomkamp's movie there.
Yeah, so I just watched a trailer for Oats, I believe is what it's going to be called, Oats Volume 1, and
Yeah,
I think that looks pretty cool, to be honest. I think it's different,
right.
but I mean, just the way it was shot, it looks really cool. It
I
just
mean,
looks the
it's
way.
got, for everybody who don't know what we're talking about, it's
Yeah.
got Sigourney Weaver,
Mm-hmm.
which
Dakota Fanning.
it looks like a role like Ripley, fighting, I think, are these creatures genetically made, or are they aliens?
I think they're supposed to be like reptilian aliens, like the ones you see in like conspiracy theories and stuff.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
So they're alien. So in other words, the joke I was saying to Chris O'Fair was that, okay, so they told Neil Blomkamp and Sigourney Weaver no to Alien 5. And they're like, well, screw this. We're going to create our own aliens and make our own movie and just call it something different, ridiculous different, that is not even remotely close to the title of Alien. And then, like we were both talking, if this movie does freaking phenomenal, then I guess 20th Century will give him Alien 5 to do. I hope.
Probably.
I hope so, because I don't want Ridley Scott to do another Alien movie. I'm sorry. I mean, and if people are looking at me like, how dare you? No, he never wrote the first Alien, okay? He was a director, people. He directed something that someone else wrote. He never really implemented anything into the Alien franchise. He was just the first director. I mean, Aliens he had nothing to do with. Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Alien vs. Predator. He was like a director of one movie. Big deal, the first movie, okay?
Well, I mean, I agree and disagree.
And he wanted to kill. Wait, he wanted to kill. There was a story about this.
Yeah, he wanted
to kill Ripley. And what happened is they threatened to fire him on the spot if he killed Ripley. So because he didn't kill Ripley, it wasn't like, this was my vision, I love Ripley. No. He didn't get to do what he wanted to do, so he had to go with the program. And he can't take credit for Ripley being awesome because she's awesome. So it was somebody else wrote her that way. And if we would have got his version of it, probably wouldn't have been as successful. I got to tell you, especially those times when that movie came out, to have like a sad ending where everybody dies, that'd be horrible. So,
well, I mean, he is definitely responsible for the way the movie looks, and the way the movie looks is fantastic. I mean, the way it's shot and the set and just, the camera angles and whatnot. So I wouldn't say that he had nothing to do with it, but he's not as integral to it, in my opinion, as some people think he is.
I mean, I loved his Prometheus.
Yeah, me too. I like Prometheus.
But, like, what I don't understand is, I don't understand why he can't continue and go with it. He basically created somebody so lovable that they could have been this generation's Ripley. And he screwed it up. He had it in the bag. Everybody loved that character. And he has this thing where I can't have this, and he just kills her off like it's nothing. Even this other character, she was great. Daniels, whatever. And he kills her too, like, don't care.
It's this character that he's created, David, that's just, it's like the one character is taking over the story. And it's like,
it's garbage.
Part of me is like, I don't think this is the way it was supposed to go.
No,
it
wasn't.
I don't see it.
It was never supposed to go like this. He just changed it.
He changed it apparently because he said he was listening to the fans because they wanted more xenomorphs, which is true.
But we didn't really get what we wanted, though. We got these other aliens.
A lot of people complained about Prometheus, and they were like, oh, there's no xenomorphs.
Right.
I was okay with there being no xenomorphs. I was like, if this is going to be a story about the space jockeys and whatnot, that's what I want to see. He threw that Deacon, which was xenomorph-like at the end, and I was like, okay, that's cool, but whatever. This one, I just feel like they were like, you know what, we need to make Prometheus, but we also need to make Alien, so let's make it like Prometheus plus Alien.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And it's like, well, no.
I mean, the only way they could save it is if they say that he's so crazy and his head is still severed, and he's dreaming all this because Liz Shaw knows he's a nut job. That would be fantastic, because then it'll be like, all right, as a computer, he simulated people in his head, and then none of that happens.
It's just so like, And again, I had said this before. I had this thought when I heard that line in Prometheus, you have such a will to survive, or whatever they said. And I was like, oh, they're going to make her the origin of the xenomorphs. And that's basically what happened. Except in the novel, he didn't make the xenomorphs. Right. So it's like, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't get it.
Well, he's obviously changing the origin of the guy that originally wrote Alien. And I don't like it at all. So, and neither does the majority of the population of the world either, because they have spoken so far. So, let's just hope that he goes direct something else, and it just doesn't do anything.
Well, I mean, look at the drop off for Covenant. I mean,
80%.
It's unbelievable. It's making some money, but it's like if I was saying this before, I have a very funny feeling that if Fox greenlights another one, it's going to have a low budget, like compared to what big budget films have now. Because this was $97 million. It was down from what Prometheus had. I think Prometheus had $130, $140 million budget. This is $97 million. And what are they going to do? They're going to give him $80 million next time, which is a lot of money. But to make a film this big, it's like,
I don't really want him to do another. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want David as the main character.
Me neither.
If you're going to make David the main character, name the movie David. Honestly, and I'm not even joking around. I mean,
I don't understand if they wanted to do something like this. Make it a story that's set in the Alien universe, but doesn't have to do with Alien. You know what I'm saying?
Why couldn't they do a thing where if he was going crazy, right? Like, forget about the alien. His goal is to destroy the Earth. Yeah. So, like, he's like one android that he gets all these followers in this thing, and there's a war that he creates with the Earth that they're aware of, and it has nothing to do with aliens. I mean, but I understand they're not going to do that because supposedly it's in the same universe as Alien, and it will mess things up. But I would say it's an alternate reality. I mean,
at this point, yeah.
I mean, this is just.
Or they could have done this. It doesn't necessarily have to be the origin of the xenomorphs. Like, established that the xenomorphs are already a thing, but David made his own version of it, and then that's how you go with this movie. But don't say that he made them outright. I mean, it's just like, first of all, it doesn't even make sense because in Prometheus there's a mural of a xenomorph on the wall. So obviously these things have been around before.
Right.
Or something like them has been around before.
It's sort of like him recreating a recipe.
Yeah.
Himself.
Yeah.
He didn't invent it, but it's been there.
Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of because you notice everything that gets infected with the black goo in a certain amount it starts to become xenomorph-like.
Yeah,
so that means that there must have
been.
Yeah, the engineers must have encountered and or created a xenomorph-like species that is the origin of the black goo. And David just, I hate to say, but he perfected it, and that's what made the xenomorphs.
Well, why couldn't they say that? Stupid, why couldn't they say that the engineers, all right, which we do know they create things, that they didn't create the alien, that their original home planet was destroyed, and what they did was they tried to duplicate it to try to control the race on their new planet, and then it doesn't work out. I mean, because that's going to be a thing that maybe they disturbed something. There was in caves or something like eggs, and then it wiped out and they mean that they were smart enough to have interstellar space travel, whatever they took to the stars, But not that I don't like it that anybody creates the alien species. Like, I think they're just there. And
that's what I always thought. I just thought that they were a species. And you know what's funny? In expanded universe stuff for Alien, which isn't canon, there's a place called Xenomorph Prime, where it's the whole planet is like a hive of xenomorphs.
Right. And there's probably other creatures on there that they eat or whatever. And just maybe they're more intelligent there, or maybe it's like.
And there was a storyline where on this, I believe it was on Xenomorph Prime, where there was a strain of xenomorphs that were red in color. And there was like a civil war between the regular xenomorphs and these red xenomorphs, kind of like red ants and black ants.
Right.
Yeah. And it was like, okay. And on the planet, there were these things called Queen Mothers, which are like the overlords of the race, basically.
Okay.
And I was like, that's cool. You don't have to do the Civil War thing, but if they ever did a movie where they went to Xenomorph Prime,
oh yeah,
how cool would that be? No.
Well, you imagine
David made it.
imagine seeing like huge aliens like that, but all like ants, like where like they're all fighting and biting each other up and whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But like cities made though too, like cities.
Yeah, like hive cities. Yeah.
Because they look like they walked upright. They didn't like crawl. I mean, they weren't like all
Well, the original aliens did. The ones in this movie apparently walk like
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
I mean, the one in Alien 3 was different because it came from a dog or an ox, whichever version
this was a direct rip-off of Hellraiser. Like I was saying to you, I was like, when I saw this, I said it off air. I saw this, I was like, this is a whole bunch of movies patchworked into one movie. The Hellraiser, Cenobite, the Data and Lore from Next Generation, where I said that whole thing every time I talk to people about it. I'm like, this was Data and Lore was the evil brother, and he was imperfection, and he wasn't as advanced as Data, and Data was getting emotions, and he tricked Data, and he dressed like him to try to kill the crew and do all that stuff. And then same thing like Alien Covenant. The only thing is he was successful, Alien Covenant. And again, this was made up of a whole bunch of movies together. There was a lot of. I've seen a lot of this over the years in other movies, patchwork together. So that's why I didn't like it. And again, we didn't have our set of aliens, xenomorphs. So, but I don't think. I think once Wonder Woman comes out, it's done. It will never make over 200 million. And let's just hope that Neil Blomkamp with his movie Oats, part 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the hell it is, he gets so much money that they give him the legacy of the franchise. Maybe he could do a movie called Alien Legacy or something or whatever. Then have Superman meet up. That'd be the fifth.
Yeah, I think now, if you give the series like a 2 or 3 year break, and then he comes back and does what he wanted to do or something similar to it,
yeah,
I think that could probably work.
Listen, we live in a day and age where people don't care if you're just gonna say that doesn't count. I mean, look at Roseanne TV series. Dan died in Roseanne, right? They just saying like he didn't die. It's not even like a plot or anything. Just continuing on as if he's alive. Nobody gives a shit. That they don't even care. Oh, why didn't I explain this? No, they just want it to continue. So back in the day, you would have to explain everything. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why Superman Returns? They don't count 3 and 4. This day and age, people just don't care. They discount this one. Just forget about that. Forget about that. And that's what they do, just like one of the Hulk movies. Forget about that Hulk movie. Remember this Hulk movie. This is a smarter audience. They don't want it to exist, Alien Covenant. It's wiped. Do Alien Legacy or Alien 5 or whatever how you want to call Ripley, and you're good. And that's it. And goodbye, Ridley Scott. Let's see how Blade Runner 2 does. Because I don't even know if that's going to do good.
Well, he didn't direct that.
He wrote it, though, didn't he?
I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure that there's a different director. I don't think he directed it.
I think he wrote it, though. But, all right. What else did we have to talk about? Was some other things? I don't even know.
I think that was pretty much it because we wanted to talk about Alien.
Let's see. I haven't really looked, guys, so I do apologize. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all we'll talk about today. Maybe tonight we'll talk about Hydra Cap, because I got the new Secret Empire #3 and I have to read them and stuff. So, all right, Chris, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Take care. Back now.